How's it going, everybody? Episode 30 of Alex Bromwich Presents. Hope you're enjoying the episodes, and we've talked about some good things. Even forgot to put my glasses on today, so a little bit of a new look. We're in Sweden. I've been here all week. It's been a really busy week. That's why I've not been posting quite so often. But it's almost to an end. Going to get back home tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing my girls when I get there, and it's going to be a really nice weekend. Hopefully nice and chilled out in Texas. So that's going to be awesome. What I wanted to talk to today was to go over in a little bit more detail one of the tips that I talked about in my social media post, or my social media tips video, I should say, and that is about content volume. One of the first tips that I talked about was that you need to post on more platforms and you need to post more volume than what you're producing today. And there are no exceptions to that as far as I'm concerned either. So there's no exceptions. No one's accepted from not posting more than what they're doing today. But the question is, how do you do that? Because you've got to find time to do it, right? Even if it's your job, it's still a lot of stuff. How do you post 10 plus times a day and remain on a sort of a high enough quality level with those posts? And there is a strategy that you can use, which is called the inverse pyramid strategy, which was founded, I'm not sure where, but the biggest proponent of it is a guy called Gary Vaynerchuk, if you haven't heard of him, at Gary V on Instagram and Twitter. Really good guy. Does a lot of YouTube content. He does a daily vlog. He does a daily podcast. He does a lot of keynotes. He also has a piece of content that he released very recently, which was around how to produce 64 pieces of content in a day. And I'll put the link in the comments below on the YouTube video so you can check that out. Really interesting slide deck that he shared for free with everyone, and that was very good. But the idea is that basically you have an inverse pyramid, and at the top you have what you call your pillar content, your main piece of content that you create every day. So that should be something like, if you're okay with video, a video. If you're okay with audio, then an audio. You can also do what I do, which is I create a video and then I extract the audio from the video and then I post that to Anchor and Spotify, and soon to Apple Podcasts as well. And then you are able to share that on the relevant platforms where that's contextually correct to. But then what you can also do, and this is the thing that I'm working on myself and I'm trying to develop better myself to be able to do, is you can then cut out smaller pieces of that content and use pieces of that content to post elsewhere. So I do it occasionally, but I don't do it quite often enough, cutting out 1 minute, 30-second snippets of the videos that I produce for you guys, and then I should be posting them to other channels like to TikTok, to Instagram and Facebook, so that I can create more contextual content for the people that are in there. So they may not always want the same sort of points that I'm making on the longer breadth piece of content, and that's why I'm also happy to go beyond the 10 minutes, although I actually enjoy keeping it shorter as well, and I know that you guys like it when I get the video shorter, so that's why we're doing that. But so try and make sure that you can get some context in the videos that you do with the smaller pieces, but you can use that to cascade through. And then what you should be able to focus on as well is then, rather than trying to create content, you should be focusing on trying to document what you're doing and basically documenting your day in order to fill out the rest of those posts. So what do I mean by document versus create? Well, a lot of people get stuck on the idea that they need to create, beautiful images, or they need to create beautiful posts, really high level copy, and that all helps, don't get me wrong. Quality is going to be the differentiating factor over the long term between you and your competition in whatever niche it is that you're operating on social media. So let me repeat that. Quality will be the differentiating factor. However, quality is subjective. What is not subjective is the volume and the ownership of the conversation. The volume is what brings you the ownership of the conversation. The quality is what keeps people there. So first, get comfortable with posting way more than you've done in the past, then start to be more concerned about the quality. We're going to do a lot of work in the next few weeks on the quality of these videos. We've already got our new mobile lighting set up, which I'm going to post a picture of later on Instagram, and we've got some audio improvements that I'm going to do right now. I actually need to just buy a micro SD card to go in the audio recorder, and so that's going to give us a better audio experience on these as well. The camera we're pretty happy with at the moment, and we're also then going to look at some extra graphics to make the videos look a bit more interesting. So we're going to work on that over time, but I think it's much more important to get comfortable with you producing your pillar content and then starting to break it down into smaller pieces so that you can actually deploy your content across the different platforms, contextually relevant to those platforms, and that you can engage with people. That's what you need to do. And don't forget as well, a good quality comment in someone else's feed or a good quality comment to a comment in your feed is also a piece of content. That's also an engagement opportunity that you have. So you should also focus on spending plenty of time with doing that sort of thing. But once you create one single piece of pillar content, you deploy that across the platforms where it's relevant, then you can effectively start to be able to drive things in the right way and drive things down in the pyramid, down to those more contextual pieces of content, which can then also feed back to your main pillar content. So that's just some thoughts about content strategy for social media. I know that it can be a bit confusing sometimes, and it could definitely be a challenge to be able to post more. But I think that we should all set up a challenge for ourselves to be able to do that, and maybe let's talk about that on Sunday and we'll see what the challenge can be. I think we need to have a sort of 10 posts a day challenge next week. So let's look into that, and please comment and share this if you like it. Give us a like on LinkedIn, give us a like on YouTube, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow.